Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Craig Melvin might be a natural face in your lounge room as the charming news anchor on the Today Show, yet what do you truly have some familiarity with the man behind the camera picture? This a kid from South Carolina, raised sincerely and coarseness defeating the chances to become one of the most regarded names in broadcasting. Now Craig partakes in an existence of extravagance in a stunning chateau settled in the Connecticut open country, yet it's not just about the distinction his way of life roars an equilibrium of difficult work and an amazing total assets based on long periods of commitment. Today, we'll strip back the shade on Craig Melvin's astounding venture, giving you an inside take, a gander at the man. Are you prepared for the present investigation? How about we make a plunge now? Craig Melvin History Melvin is a regarded American columnist and commentator with a net worth of $9 million, a total common with his significant other, games. Telecaster Lindsay Roast Melvin has constructed a recognized profession as a noticeable figure at both MSNBC and NBC News, where he fills in as an anchor. In addition, he holds a prominent job as an anchorperson on NBC's Today Show and co-hosts the program's third hour throughout his profession. Melvin has investigated an extensive variety of huge public and worldwide occasions. His inclusion incorporates significant moments like the George Zimmerman preliminary, the sad Sandy Hook school shooting, and the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. For his commitments to NBC, especially his work on the Today Show, Melvin procures a yearly compensation of $3 million, further featuring his progress in the media industry. Craig Melvin, born on May 20th, 1979, in Columbia, South Carolina, is a notable American writer whose vocation has traversed more than 20 years. Raised by his folks, Betty and Lawrence Melvin, Craig was the second of three young men. He has a more youthful sibling, Ryan, and a stepbrother, Lawrence Glades, a minister who tragically died in 2020 after fighting colon malignant growth. Since early on, Craig showed authority characteristics that would come to characterize his vocation. During his time at secondary school, he left a mark on the world by turning into the primary dark leader of Key Club Global, an enormous global help association. This accomplishment was an obvious sign of his drive to lead and have a beneficial outcome on his local area following his high school years. Craig sought higher training at Wford School in Spartanburg, South Carolina. There, he procured a 4-year certification in government, further honing how he might interpret cultural designs and the media's job in it. He likewise turned into an individual from the Kappa Sigma organization and proceeded with his commitment to youth initiative as a senior counsel for the Palmetto Young Men's State Program in South Carolina, making a difference to coach future pioneers. Craig's profession in communicating started early, even previously school. While still in secondary school, he worked for WIS Television, the NBC subsidiary in Colombia. From 1995 to 1997, he filled in as the Our Age journalist, where he got his most memorable taste of newscasting. His energy and inherent expertise on camera set the stage for what might turn into an amazing vocation in the wake of finishing school. Melvin got back to his television in 2001 as a maker and news picture taker, jobs that permitted him to gain proficiency with the specialized parts of news coverage. His ability immediately became apparent, and soon he progressed into detailing. He became a vital piece of the morning news group and made Craig Cam a live fragment that exhibited his flexibility and appeal on air. Melvin's ascent at Wiz Television was quick, his capacity to recount stories that made a difference, whether spotlight on the battles of vagrancy or the difficulties confronting training in his old neighborhood, procured him the regard of watchers and partners. The same his devotion prompted advancements, first as a commentator for the end-of-the-week morning, furthermore, evening reports, and at last as anchor for Workday. Communicates Craig's inside and out announcing and his craving to shed light on significant neighborhood issues made him an easily recognized name in Colombia by 2008, following quite a while of progress. At WIS Television, Melvin made the following large stride in his profession by joining WCTV, the NBC-claimed station in Washington, D.C. There he moored the end-of-the-week evening reports, bringing his exceptional way of revealing to a more extensive crowd his work at TV from 2008 to 2011 further established his notoriety as a talented writer equipped for interfacing with watchers and tending to stories that made a difference on both a nearby and public level. In the late spring of 2011, Craig Melvin made a huge vocation move, changing from his job as an anchor at TV to turn into a daytime anchor on MSNBC. This shift opened the entryway to much more prominent open doors, permitting Melvin to step onto a bigger stage where he would cover major public and worldwide occasions. Also, to his obligations at MSNBC, he additionally filled in as a journalist for NBC News, acquiring acknowledgement for his smart and adjusted announcing during a portion of the most essential crossroads in ongoing history. Melvin's work at MSNBC exhibited his capacity to cover complex, prominent occasions. In 2012, he was on the cutting edge of the political scene, covering the majority rule and conservative public shows. That very year, he played a key job in Television One's Political Race Night Inclusion, a program delivered in organization with NBC News, illustrating his flexibility and capacity to adjust to various configurations and crowds. Unfortunately, 2012 additionally stamped one of the haziest periods in present-day American history, the Sandy Hook primary school shooting. Melvin covered the frightening occasion, announcing with sympathy and gravity as the country grieved the misfortune of blameless lives. This was obviously the start of Melvin's inclusion of various public misfortunes. In the years that followed, by 2013, Melvin was on the scene investigating a few more critical and pulverizing occasions. He covered the destructive twister that tore through Moore, Oklahoma, resulting in a war zone and misfortune. Afterward, he was additionally entrusted with providing details regarding the accident of Asiana Aircraft's Flight 214 at San Francisco Global Air Terminal, a calamity that guaranteed numerous lives, maybe one of the most genuinely charged stories. Stories the year was the preliminary of George Zimmerman, who had failed to shoot Trayvon Martin. A youthful, dark-skinned teen. Melvin's inclusion was extensive and sympathetic, mirroring the profound racial pressures that were unfurling across the country the next year. Melvin's detailing kept on zeroing in on basic issues encompassing race, equity, and savagery. He covered the police shooting of Michael Earthy Culler Jr. in Ferguson, Missouri, a case that reignited cross-country discussions on police fierceness and fundamental prejudice. Melvin additionally provided details regarding the homicide of Hannah Graham, a College of Virginia understudy whose disastrous passing stunned the country. Indeed, Melvin showed off his abilities to be a believed voice, giving insightful and careful inclusion of these terrible occasions. The accompanying years were similarly as serious for Melvin. In 2015, he was shipped off Charleston, South Carolina, to cover the terrible church taking shots at the Emmanuel Point Church, where 9 African-American admirers were killed by a white supremacist. This overwhelming occasion hit especially up close and personal, for as Charleston is only a brief distance from his old neighborhood, he likewise covered the passing of Freddie Dim, an individual of color, who kicked the bucket in police guardianship in Baltimore, a case that ignited boundless fights. What's more, calls for police change. In 2016, Melvin was on the scene covering another demonstration of savagery, the mass shooting of cops in Dallas, Texas, where 5 officials were killed during a challenge police shootings. Regardless of the gravity of a significant number of these tasks, Melvin's profession has not been characterized exclusively by misfortunes. In 2016, he likewise had the chance to provide details regarding a much lighter and seriously inspiring occasion, the Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This experience displayed an alternate side of Melvin's editorial reach as he brought the fervor and energy of the worldwide game to watchers back home. 2 years after the fact, in 2018, he proceeded with this pattern by covering the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, bringing accounts of diligence also. Win from competitors around the world notwithstanding his developing presence on MSNBC and NBC News. Melvin took on new jobs. He turned into a co-anchor of End of the Week Today, a place that permitted him to interface with watchers on a more individual level. He additionally started facilitating Feast, an augmentation of the famous analytical news program, and filled in as a reporter on Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly from 2018 ahead. Melvin's profession arrived at new levels as he became a commentator on NBC's lead morning program. Today, he additionally took on the job of co-host of the show's third hour, where his receptive character and sharp editorial senses made him one among watchers with this achievement. Nothing unexpected. We're taking a visit through his ultra-extravagant Craig Melvin home visit house in Connecticut. Join together, states Craig Melvin, a notable television anchor for NBC's Today Show, and his significant other, Lindsay Byrne, and unmistakable games are not only fruitful in their vocations, they likewise know how to make a delightful, family-friendly home. The couple's dazzling home in Westport, Connecticut, impeccably balances extravagance. Thanks for watching this video.